you have to do something for the Christmas concert this year. And I was like, yeah, like thinking maybe nativity or something like that. And he said, no, something completely different. So I thought, okay, so we were going to obviously learn some Christmas songs. And then I decided, being a songwriter, I thought, well, maybe it's time to write a Christmas song. And I actually did spend probably about 3 weeks gathering some ideas with the kids, and the song came together in the classroom. So yeah.
Brilliant. And this isn't the first recording. You had a recording last year, and you had the album launch, the was electric in the Spirit Store, I have to say. But tell us about the new revamped video that you have with NC Kids.
Yes, sure. Well, basically, the song was recorded, like, obviously the very first year that I had the kids singing it. It was such a basic recording, and then last year was kind of the first proper professional recording of it, and it went very well. But my vocals featured on it, and it went under the name of Nearly Christmas by Sinead McNally. I did have children singing on it with me, and it was a lovely, absolutely great version of the song. But throughout the last year, I got some advice, I guess, and I went to some songwriter workshops, and I met with some kind of hit songwriters and discussed the song and really talked about what changes could be made to really make a final edit of it. So the advice came back. There wasn't a huge amount of change. We beefed it up, I suppose. It's a little more Christmassy. A couple of the words changed, and then the big key idea was to actually take my vocals off it, kind of step back and allow a child to sing the lead vocals, which I was absolutely delighted about when I discovered a local girl called Nisha Dernan, and she stepped into the studio and we re-recorded it, and it now is kind of, like I say, bigger, and that's the final edit of those. So it's done now. It won't be re-recorded ever again. But now the video as well comes under the heading of the NC Kids, and it includes up to about 50 local children as well. So it's good fun.
Brilliant. So definitely putting County Louth on the map anyway.
Yes. Well, we've Counties Louth, Meath and Down covered in terms of the video, so that's good. You know what I mean?
Brilliant. And also, maybe to go back to more your serious music, maybe less Christmassy, you do cover quite a broad range of emotions and things like that. But what inspires you maybe to write your wonderful music?
Well, I guess like that, emotion, obviously when events in your life occur, I find music for me is a little bit like therapy. So it's rather than maybe we all discuss our bits and pieces and emotions with people, but I find for me it's a particularly good way to do is to go in and sit at the piano and to maybe find a musical feature or like a melody that kind of represents that emotion, and it helps me to deal with it. And then at the same time, lately I've been writing to brief, which is kind of something I've not done before, where maybe someone has come to me with a brief and said, we want you to do X, Y and Z, and then I've had to really deliberately write, and I didn't think I would be that great, I was nervous about it, and it's worked so far. So the briefs that I've got have kind of been, I suppose I've achieved them, so I'm excited about writing to brief, but also the emotions, when they're there, it's good to be able to sit at the piano and write about them,
Well, also as regards the NC Kids, you have a new website for teachers' resources. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I guess I always wanted the song to be more than the song, if you know what I mean, if that makes sense. It's great to have a song, but for me, I suppose there was the fact that children just latched onto it. I thought, well, there must be something in this. And then I thought about, I suppose, thinking from a teacher's point of view, I was going, wouldn't it be great if the song wasn't just something that you could listen to, but it was also something that maybe you could do activities from. So got my teacher's hat and put it back on and sat down and felt like I was back in the classroom. And I put together, like I say, the website, and the website is www.nearlychristmaskids.com, and on there there's a section. There's a little cracker, and when you click on the cracker it takes you to some resources, and the resources basically feature a couple of activities for kids, like a word search, and then there's some ideas for teachers of how they could use a song in a classroom setting, but not necessarily, they don't have to learn the song. It can be used maybe for a dance activity or a literacy activity where they read and they have to replace certain words within the song. So I definitely feel it's an element. It's still in its very early stages, but I'd love to really build on the resource aspect of it. And one thing I really want to mention that I particularly love about the website is that there's a section called Acts of Love, and what it is that the kids click on this Acts of Love, and it lists things that children can do kind of for each other, like things like donate maybe a little toy to charity or something like that they might have, an old toy, and I know a lot of schools do that anyway, but then under that, simple things like leaving a note for maybe your mum or your dad, just to say to them, you look lovely today, or I really appreciate all you do for me. So I'm loving that section, because kids are having a lot of fun looking at it and finding ways that they can actually be kind to one another, and I suppose just do something. It's nothing to do with the song, but for me it's important to have that educational space where it's positive and it's a community and they can come together and just enjoy the kind of all the Christmas element of it, and then the activities as well.
That is fantastic. And there's also what you're encouraging as well, you were telling me about before the interview, about kids that are able to do recording of the songs. So tell us, how can people get their recording into you?
Sure, this is something that's, again, really important to me. I love hearing cover versions of songs, and I love, last year, one thing that struck me, a lot of teachers got in touch with me and said, oh, I did the song with my children this year. And the thing that obviously, I thought that was amazing, but I was just nearly like, I can't believe I can't get to see them. Do you know what I mean? I'd love to have seen that. And then some of them said, well, we'll send you a little clip of it or whatever, which is great, or some photos. So this year I've incorporated a little aspect whereby all children, teachers, parents, whether you're on your own or in a group of kids, you're more than welcome to kind of like, say, for example, take the backing track. It's up on iTunes anyway. There's no vocals on it, so you can sing it, okay? And say, for example, you're in your classroom or at home, you could do a little version of the song, have it filmed, or even just photographed if you don't want to actually film it, photograph it, and send it to nearlychristmaskids@gmail.com, and we will then, in turn, upload any images or media onto the YouTube channel so that it becomes, again, like that community where you can watch. I'd love to see it in Irish, I'd love to hear it in kind of different languages and native dress from around the world. So, again, it'll take time to build, but hopefully that channel will grow,
Fantastic. And also you do, being from a teacher's background, I suppose, you have a good head on your shoulders, and you do an awful lot of your own PR work. You do a lot of your own PR work, and also you've been on Ireland, or Morning Ireland, and a lot of other media outlets promoting your work and your passion. So tell us maybe what has been the highlight of your career to date.
Wow, that's tough, because sometimes I forget to sit and look back because you're so busy looking forward all the time. But I guess it is I know it sounds very cliche, but it is the likes of okay, there's big moments when you get national TV or the national radio, that there, nothing beats turning on the radio and hearing a song. Like, I think that's where your outlet is. That's your supermarket shelves, as I call them. Like, you want to hear it up there, and obviously it returns a little bit of revenue too, so it's exciting. So I would call that a kind of very much a highlight in, I suppose, the business end of it, and hearing your music kind of like, say, being broadcast to an audience. But really, I think what it comes down to, and this is where I think the stem of it all is when you get a call like that, or a random text or a message through Facebook or whatever, however way it comes, from somebody saying, like, my child got up at 6 o'clock this morning and will not stop singing this song, or even if it's an adult, I cannot stop listening to such and such a song. Like, it's helped me get through either whether it's a bereavement or just get through a happy time in their life. Do you know what I mean? So that, I think, when people come back and say your music has got into their skin, that's definitely, there's nothing that beats.
So
that's
it's a personal touch that people get, definitely. And I love a lot of your stuff is kind of like really upbeat, and then also you do cover like some serious issues like depression and things like that. So definitely there's many emotions that people can relate to in your music. So maybe in the next couple of weeks or next coming months, what can we look forward to seeing from you, Sinead?
Yeah, well, like I say, I've kind of stepped back this year and I've been very busy working behind the scenes on projects like Nearly Christmas, but I have been writing, and definitely my writing has matured, and I'm absolutely mad to get another EP out, because it's been 2 years since I've actually released my own EP. So absolutely, definitely, about this time next year, I hope we're having the same conversation with a nice EP featuring hopefully 5 or 6 tracks that are like say a little bit more mature, covering a lot of happy and sad emotions, I'm sure. But yes, a new EP is definitely on the cards. I'm kind of buzzing now to get another one and get my own stuff out there again.
Brilliant. And maybe what's the best way to find out more? You did mention your nearlychristmaskids.com website. So tell us how best to find you on the web and your music.
Yeah, well, I do have my own website as well, so that's just www.sineadmcnally.com. So you can find me on that. You can email me through that and subscribe as well to the channel. Pretty much, like, the good thing about Google nowadays, you can type in your name and find your Facebook page, your Twitter, all those sort of outlets. I'm quite easy to get hold of as well. I'll not give out my phone number, but my email address, like I say, is on the website, and it's just Sinead@sineadmcnally.com as well. So that would be great if people got in touch.
Thanks very much to Sinead McNally for coming on Border Region TV with us. Now, up next, we'll take a look at Nearly Christmas single performed by NC Kids. I hope you enjoy, and thanks for watching.
Can you feel it? It's nearly here now. It's nearly Christmas time. The stars are brighter for Santa's journey. He's getting ready to fly. I've been waiting for so long for this day to arrive, and I can't sleep at night.
The Glen Gap Guest House, multi-award-winning B&B, Dundalk, County Louth, a little piece of countryside in the heart of the town. The Glen Gap Guest House, sponsors of BorderTV's music show.
Hello and welcome to the music show on Border Region TV. I'm your host Helena Mullins, and joined with me today we have a singer-songwriter from Dundalk, David Keenan. Thanks so much for coming to join us.
Thanks for inviting me.
Cool. Well, first of all, I'd like to ask, when did you realise your love for music?
I suppose it goes back years. I remember my dad, he bought me a little guitar when I was 4, and he was driving buses at the time, and his tie was my strap for the guitar. I used to just go around. I used to flick marbles off it as well. Like, it wasn't just for making noise, like, you know. But I couldn't play a note. I didn't start playing till I was about 11, and then I just picked it up from there. Gathered dust in the corner for a while, and I think if you're self-taught, you have to let it go for a while and just your own initiative and pick it back up again, which I did when I was about 14. When I heard Damien Dempsey, and that's when I started writing. About 13, 14, I started writing and wrote that song El Paso, which is still a kind of local favourite in Dundalk today, I think.
Brilliant. And so different stuff inspire or influences your writing, I suppose. Would I be right in saying?
Well, look, Dundalk influenced mainly books that I've read, local characters, family members, just stories you pick up along the way, and then you can picture yourself in certain situations, or just I've always found it easy writing a song. It just kind of comes to me, you know. I can't put my finger on it, you know what I mean. If I could bottle it, I'd sell it, like, you know what I mean.
Well, you mentioned Damien Dempsey there, and what maybe other artists, past or present, would influence your style of writing?
I suppose you go back to the 50s, and I'm into kind of rockabilly from the 50s and early rock and roll, and then, you know, blues music, early blues. I suppose my style of writing is kind of Dylan-esque, I suppose, if you can get away with saying that. John Martin, Lee Mavers at the Lads, Liverpool music in general kind of influenced my writing as well, and just, as I said, books I've read and family members and just stories, like, from growing up. Brilliant.
And you mentioned Liverpool there, and I know that you spent some time gigging overseas. So how did you get attracted to that, or how did you?
It was just from getting into that band, the Lads, and most people know them from that song There She Goes. But I got into that band, bought the record, and then got a couple of gigs in Isle of Man, and just from there we went to Liverpool. Me and my friend went to Liverpool, and I just fell in love with the city and the people, and it really influenced my songwriting and my ability to play as well. So I'm actually playing there on the 20th of December, so I can't wait to get back, like, you know.
Brilliant. And maybe what has been your highlight to date? I'm sure you've done lots of gigs, and also gigging overseas. I'm sure it was a different kind of experience, but maybe what has been your highlight to date in your musical career?
I suppose coming full circle from getting into the Lads, going to Liverpool, and then supporting John Paul from the Lads in the Spirit Store in my hometown. So I kind of have to say that, don't I? Like, you know, John Paul.
That is amazing. That really is some achievement. That's really amazing. And you're involved also with Echo Road Records. So tell us a little bit about that and how it came about for yourself.
It came about just from being in Liverpool, and the musicians in Liverpool couldn't do enough for themselves, couldn't do enough for just the whole musical and artistic kind of community. So myself and Damo McKenna, we got together and we decided to it's a collective of musicians and people involved in the arts get together. You know, it's just not just musicians, it's poets, graphic designers. We're getting together, we're making music, we're making art, and it's just to get a kind of music scene going in Dundalk. You know, at the time we're all proud of a share on Facebook or just physically going to a gig or recording it's just to get a music scene going in Dundalk, you know, the town we all love so much, you know.
Brilliant. And also, how can we find out more about Echo Road Records?
We can get us on SoundCloud, on Twitter. Myself and Damo McKenna, we do the first cut on Dundalk FM every Friday from 6 to 7. And we're always looking for new people to come in and showcase their talent and get this town, put this town on the map.
And maybe to find out more about your music in particular, because that's what we're showcasing today, how can we find out more about you?
You can get me on Facebook. It's David Keenan Sounds. SoundCloud, all my music's up there. It's all free. Like soundcloud.com/David Keenan Music. Twitter, the whole lot.
The whole lot. So you did mention a gig that you'll be looking forward to in Liverpool on the 20th of December, but you're also supporting Permanent Deja Vu, who'll be on later in the show. The 13th of December, I believe, in Tolls, in Dundalk.
Yeah, we've had the lads down. They played a couple of Echo Road gigs before, and Grace and Gav, they're great lads, great musicians, so we can't wait for that, you know.
Brilliant. And what can we look forward to now in the new year, that from yourself, David?
Gig-wise, I've not really planned, but I'm really busy at the minute trying to record the EP and get that out in early next year, so fingers crossed that'll be finished. I just need to get my head down and do it.
Brilliant. And we can look you up to find out and see your progress and things like that, and see other music that you're involved with, which would be great. And also maybe tell us about this song you're going to play for us now.
Yeah, this is the song I'm going to be hopefully recording for the EP. This will be on the new EP, so I'm going to give it a blast.
Brilliant. So exclusive to Border Region TV, we have Kelso Terrace. So fire ahead, David.
I swear I'll be here. Make your way back down to the river and pray for me. Oh, Chevron's not coming home drunk, and I give her a message. Body's here, don't know where she could be. She must be waiting in the passage. Throw the tobacco on the table, I'm going to smoke right away. Gonna roll myself into a hole, tomorrow's another day. Let the seas, my brother. For talk's sake, I might take a dance where to right, so make a wrong. Pour my soul into this bowl and stir it up with this song. On your knees, begging please. On your knees, yeah. Stay just a little bit. Flood in the window, flood in the kitchen, flood into the hall. In the night you robbed me of my sight, I was forced to crawl. From the dark, the singing of the lark, yeah, warned me of the light of spark. On your knees, you're begging, on your knees, stay just a little bit longer. Stay
a little piece of countryside in the heart of the town. The Glengat Guest House, sponsors of BorderTV's music show. A little piece of countryside in the heart of the town. The Glengat Guest House, sponsors of BorderTV's music show.
Welcome back to the music show on Border Region TV. Thanks to David Keenan for joining us in the first half of the show. And with us now we have brother and sister Grace and Gavin Wynne from Permanent Deja Vu. Thank you very much for joining us on the show.
Thanks for having us, Helena. Thank you.
Also, when would you like to tell us a bit about how Permanent Deja Vu started out in the beginning?
Yeah, well, as you mentioned there, myself and Grace are brother and sister, so we were kind of playing music together for many, many years, and the band kind of came about sort of organically over the years. When I was in college, I recorded an album as part of my thesis, and Grace kind of helped me out with it, and she played some piano on it, and ever since then we've kind of been playing music together, and so that was the start of it all. So we've been going about 5 years now.
Yeah, around 5 years
as a band.
A band, we had to put a name on ourselves.
So we put a name on ourselves then,
eventually. So
Brilliant. And also, both of you would have had different influences of music and things like that, but what artists, past or present, would have been an influence on your music in Permanent Deja Vu?
It's a good question. Well, for myself now, I'd kind of be into classic songwriters like Bob Dylan, David Bowie, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, The Smiths, Jimi Hendrix. We're kind of music obsessives, the two of us, so...
Would you be the same?
I'd be the same. I would have kind of heard all of those artists at home as well, heard a lot of music through my brothers, and then I played classical piano, so I was interested in classical music, and then I would love female songwriters. Like, I went to see Kate Bush this year, and I'd be a big fan of Joni Mitchell and people like that as well, so...
Fantastic. And you've had Hot Press singing your praises there at a competition in 2012, and that probably would have been one of your big highlights, I would say, to date.
Absolutely, yeah. It was great. Now we got picked out. I think was there 5 or 6 finalists. Yeah. So
and that's out of hundreds of bands.
It was. So they picked one of our songs. I can't remember the band now. It's a few years ago. I think it might have been the De Laurentiis who picked our song.
Wow.
So they had
I remember it, yes.
Few kind of guest bands in, and they listened to loads and loads of tracks, and they picked one of our songs off our first album, a song called Feigning Reflection. And so it made the final. So we had a little picture in Hot Press. Wow. And a little write-up about ourselves. So we were really chuffed with that. It was really nice. So... yeah.
And probably to pick out another highlight of your career today, I suppose, with all your gigging and, what would be a highlight, would you say, maybe, Grace?
Yeah, well, I suppose this year we played on the main stage of Whelan's, and I had never played there before, so for me that was kind of a big highlight. And then, I suppose we've had lots of little highlights, little victories maybe along the way, even getting the album finished was a bit of a challenge this time round, so we're real DIY with how we go about things, and we wrote the songs and recorded them and arranged them, and sometimes a couple of times over, scrapped things and gone back.
So time consuming job, obviously.
It is, and we just put everything in creatively with the music, and so it's just that was a victory. Getting that far was a victory for us as well.
Fantastic. And we are looking forward to your album launch now on the 13th of December. That'll be on in Tolls.
That's right, in
Brilliant.
Tolls.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
That's a
gonna
lovely
be-
spot now, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of Christmassy. It's going to be intimate, and it's going to be a great night of music. We've we've a few other artists supporting us, and it's sort of going to be a focus on songwriters, in Dundalk, and we're going to play as much material from the new album as we can, and some other numbers as well.
Brilliant. And also, where can we find out more about your music online? I know you've SoundCloud, you've all this. So
we have
just how can we
SoundCloud.
find you?
Well, we're on Facebook, so that's kind of our most up-to-date information available. So Facebook is probably the best one. Our videos are on YouTube, so we have a few singles and a few videos that we made for the last album. So you can find us there, and SoundCloud has all our albums too.
Yeah.
It does, and we'll probably put the album up on Bandcamp as well, like for sale.
And there's actually a link on your Facebook to Bandcamp.
Yeah,
that's right.
because you can get a digital copy or a hard copy. We'll post you out a hard copy either. So we did that for the last album, so we'll do it for this album as well.
Fantastic. So you have a single as well that you're launching along with your album launch,
we have.
Utopia. So tell us a little bit about the story behind that, maybe, or
The story behind the song.
story behind the song, or can you kind of like tell us about the song itself?
Yeah, well, I think, Gracie, you would be best placed to answer that
Yeah,
one. So
well-
Grace wrote the song, so...
Yeah, well, I suppose it's quite difficult sometimes to explain songs, but this song is called Utopia, so it's I suppose it's about a struggle in maybe different aspects of life. So in the video you'll see it's a relationship, and the song was meant to have a double meaning basically. So it's about struggle with a relationship and struggle with your work as well. So it was to do with us making our music and everything else as well. And Utopia obviously is, it's a struggle. So utopia doesn't really exist at all. This is an idealistic kind of thing. Cry out to utopia. We know we'll never get there,
Kind of
but
like the American Dream or something.
Yeah.
It's like Utopia is that. But
kind of sounds like
it's
an
never.
epic, but the idea is pretty simple, is that you're striving for perfection, and you don't always get there, but it doesn't stop you from trying. You still in, say, a relationship, or if you have something you're passionate about like music, we would be sort of very perfectionists, I
Absolutely,
suppose,
yeah.
in ways, and you're motivated anyway, so it's that kind of a conundrum you face, like.
And it's a song that many can relate to, I
Absolutely,
suppose.
yeah. When Grace played me the song first, she made a recording of the song on her phone and she sent it to me, and that was the first thing I kind of thought of. Was I thought she was referring to the band, which seemed, that's what I kind of related it to. But it's a song that's very relatable, I think. As Grace was saying, in the video it's more represented by a relationship and two people who are kind of struggling to get on with each other. So yeah, hopefully everyone will kind of find something
their own
in
meaning
it.
in it.
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
nice. It's nice to relate to the music that people write. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's what we're
Yeah.
hoping for. It's quite a plain speaking, direct type of song, when you listen to the lyric. And like in the video, we're in it, so we're kind of representative maybe of our music. And then we have this couple who, their relationship you're sort of following, and our paths cross at the end of it. So
Interesting.
it's like
And
the
it's a
two
fabulous
stories
vintage
together.
style. I love the
It's
photographs on
wonderful.
Facebook.
Yeah.
So they're really classy.
We got a great car as well. Our uncle owns this absolutely beautiful, it's a Rover from the early 70s, but it's kind of a 50s model. So it looks like something out of an Alfred Hitchcock film. So you'll see that's kind of very much
really
featured.
amazing.
Yeah.
And we even did the green screen thing of kind of, I don't know if you've ever seen any of the old Alfred Hitchcock films, and there's the driving scenes, and like there's kind of the slightly phony landscape in the background.
Yeah.
So we even managed to put that in as well. So
And, what was I going to say as well? Just that, Sean McMahon did the video for us, so we're just absolutely delighted as well.
That's
Just big thank you to him for for making the vid for us too. So
Brilliant. And so I know you both have day jobs, both professional teachers. So, what can we look forward to anyway in the new year? I know you're probably all concentrating on this album launch, but in the new year, what can we look forward to?
Well, I think we're going to release another single off the album, so we'll probably make another video, just give Sean a shout again. And we actually kind of have an idea for another video, so we'll probably pursue that, and just gigging as well. So that's kind of the plan, get the album out there as much as possible. So
try to get a few reviews, and just on a more of a national platform, or something, and just get the music out there a bit more. So that's our plan.
Absolutely.
Well, best of luck on your album launch.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the show this evening.
Pleasure.
So there you have it. You can check out Permanent Deja Vu on Facebook, but also take a look at their new single, Utopia. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy.
You can't be precious about these things. The pain you suffer is losing utopia. We've been trying hard for so long now, the vision haunts like a mirage. Newness has sweetness, so fleeting, realizing it pains me, this resignation. Fire in the belly is eating me away. You look on with eyes ablaze. Utopia, we've been trying hard for so long now, the vision haunts like a mirage. Newness has sweetness, so fleeting, realizing
We'll go on riding, we will go on loving. We have no choice, living is losing. We'll go on riding, we will go on loving. We have no choice. Are you with me?
we've been trying hard for so long now, the vision haunts like a mirage. Newness has sweetness, so fleeting, realizing we'll never get to utopia. We'll never get to utopia.